The red wine splattered across the white dress like blood on fresh snow. Victoria Hartwell smiled a cruel practiced smile as the young waitress tried desperately to clean the stain. "Oops," she said softly, her perfect teeth shining under the chandelier. "What a pity that people like you don't know how to move properly in civilized settings." The Boston annual charity gala glittered with power and hypocrisy. Crystals sparkled. Music floated, and the elite of the East Coast congratulated themselves for their kindness. But beneath that polished surface stood Jasmine Washington, a 24-year-old waitress and MBA student at Harvard, and a daughter who carried the weight of her family's dreams. She had taken this job to pay her final semester's fees. Her hair was neatly tied, her steps calm and graceful, yet to Victoria she was invisible, just another black waitress to mock. "I'm sorry, ma'am," Jasmine said, gently collecting the shards of glass. "I'll clean it right away." "Don't worry," Victoria replied loudly, making sure everyone nearby heard. "Accidents are common when you hire this kind of people." The words hung in the air like poison. Some guests looked away in shame, others smiled, entertained by the cruelty. But Jasmine only bowed slightly, her voice steady. "Of course, ma'am, I'll take care of it." As she walked to the kitchen, one pair of eyes followed her. Robert Hartwell, Victoria's husband, a self-made millionaire who had built his empire by observing people when they thought no one watched. And in that moment he saw two things clearly: his wife's cruelty and the remarkable dignity of the young woman she tried to destroy. Victoria wasn't done. Surrounded by her circle of high society friends, she continued her performance. "Did you see that?" she said theatrically. "The audacity of some people to infiltrate our events." Her friends laughed. Jasmine returned quietly, holding a tray of clean glasses, hearing every word. "She probably needs this job desperately," one woman whispered. "At least she knows her place," another smirked. Victoria raised her voice again. "After all, not everyone is lucky enough to be born with proper manners." Jasmine stayed silent, her calmness piercing deeper than any insult. What none of them knew was that the woman they mocked had graduated summa cum laude in economics, spoke fluent French, and was finishing a Harvard thesis on racial discrimination in corporate America. Then Victoria took it further. She stood blocking Jasmine's path. "You can read, can't you?" she said cruelly. "Read this menu for us out loud." The room fell silent. Dozens of eyes turned to Jasmine. Robert looked on in disbelief. Jasmine took the menu, gently smiled, and began to read every French word pronounced with flawless elegance. Her voice flowed like music, smooth, confident, perfect. When she finished, Victoria's smirk had vanished. The guests stared, whispering in awe. Even Margaret, Victoria's closest friend, muttered, "My God, she's fluent." Robert rose slowly. "Victoria," he said quietly, "perhaps it's time we focus on the charity part of this charity event." Victoria's face burned, but she forced a laugh. "Of course, dear, just making sure everyone knows proper protocol." Jasmine bowed slightly and walked away, not defeated, but holding her secret close. Hidden in her apron pocket was a tiny voice recorder. Every slur, every insult, every word perfectly captured. In the quiet of the hotel restroom, Jasmine finally let her hands tremble. She checked the recorder. 23 minutes of pure evidence, clear as crystal. What began as humiliation was now something far greater. A gentle knock sounded at the door. "Miss Washington." It was Robert. He stood there, guilt and anger on his face. "I came to apologize," he said. "There's no excuse for my wife's behavior." "You don't have to, sir," Jasmine replied calmly. "You're not responsible for her choices." "Maybe not," Robert said, "but I tolerated them for too long." He hesitated. "You're not really a waitress, are you?" Jasmine smiled. "No, sir, I'm an MBA student at Harvard." Robert stared. Harvard, my God, she attacked a Harvard student out of prejudice. "This happens more often than you think," Jasmine said softly. Robert leaned forward. "Then maybe you can help me change it. My company, Hartwell Development, has been struggling with diversity. I want real reform, not PR. I want you to lead it as an external consultant. Jasmine blinked, surprised. Why me? Because I saw how you carried yourself under fire, Robert said, and because I've been complicit for 23 years. It's time I fix something real. At that moment, Victoria appeared. Her eyes went wide, seeing her husband with Jasmine. Robert, what are you doing? I'm offering Jasmine a consulting position, he said plainly. Victoria's laugh was brittle. You can't be serious, she's a waitress. She's a Harvard student specializing in discrimination studies, Robert replied sharply. And tonight you humiliated her in front of the entire elite. Victoria's smile trembled. Darling, misunderstandings happen. There was no misunderstanding, Jasmine interrupted gently. Everything was documented. The word documented hit Victoria like thunder. Robert turned to her, realization dawning. You recorded this? He asked Jasmine. Jasmine didn't answer. She didn't need to. The silence spoke louder than anything. Weeks passed. One morning, Victoria woke up to chaos, 47 missed calls, hundreds of messages. Business executive accused of racism. Viral audio exposes Boston elite. Her own voice filled the airwaves. People like you don't belong here. The audio was everywhere, radio, TV, social media. Victoria ran downstairs, trembling. Robert, do something. Robert didn't look up from his paper. That waitress you mocked, she's now our company's diversity consultant. After hearing that audio, I understand why we desperately need her. Victoria's face went pale. Then her phone rang again. The local tennis club revoked her membership. Her social circle abandoned her overnight. Sponsors withdrew from her charity foundation. Even her hairstylist canceled her appointment. Robert stood up, calm but final. You know what's ironic, Victoria? Jasmine didn't destroy you. You did. She just pressed record. By evening, he had packed his bags. My lawyers will send the divorce papers tomorrow. I spent 23 years pretending not to see who you are. That ends today. Victoria fell to her knees. You're leaving me for a waitress. For a woman with dignity, Robert replied, and for the man I should have been years ago. Meanwhile, in a bright office overlooking the city, Jasmine Washington began her new job as Director of Diversity and Inclusion at Hartwell Development. She wore a navy suit, her hair shining under the morning light, no longer a waitress serving tables, but a leader shaping change. Robert introduced her to the staff. Starting today, Jasmine will lead our initiative for equity and inclusion. She has full authority to make this company better. The employees applauded. Many had heard the viral audio. They knew what it meant to see her standing there, strong, composed, victorious. My mission, Jasmine said, her voice steady, is not revenge, it's rebuilding. We'll create a culture where no one is ever humiliated for who they are. Her words carried the quiet power of someone who had turned pain into purpose. 6 months later, Jasmine's consulting firm had grown nationally. Corporations invited her to design diversity programs. Her name became a symbol of strength, proof that silence can be the most powerful response to hate. As for Victoria, she lived alone in her empty mansion, scrolling through comments that called her the face of modern prejudice. Her charity titles, social circles, and reputation gone. Her own words had become a case study at Harvard. At that year's graduation ceremony, Jasmine took the stage addressing hundreds of students. Never let anyone define your worth by your color or status, she said. The best revenge is success they never believed you could achieve. The audience rose in applause. Cameras flashed, and somewhere in a quiet house filled with regret, Victoria finally understood the woman she tried to humiliate had become everything she once pretended to be. Because power isn't about money or privilege. It's about dignity, and Jasmine Washington had both in every word she ever spoke.